Kris Abel is here, one of our tech favorite nerdy geeky dudes that we absolutely love, and I'm not surprised about our NanoLeaf topic in a second because I know he loves them. They're in his studio. But I had, Kris, an anti-tech thing to bring you to start today.
Okay.
Have you seen they're like a white dome mask, and there's other companies that are making them, and so many people shudder with masks post-pandemic, but they're an anti-face recognition mask that blocks cameras from seeing your face, and you're starting to see people ride down the street with fencing, the sport fencing. They kind of look like that, and people are wearing them so they can't be spotted. I think that's quite fascinating.
Yes, I mean, initially this was researchers that were doing this, trying to find if there was patterns that could fool the software of cameras for face recognition. So people ended up wearing all sorts of patterns on their faces that look like barcodes or various sort of abstract art exhibits. Very, very cool in terms of experimenting with the idea, can you sort of evade the 1984 aspect of having cameras everywhere watching and following you all the time? And can you do it in a light kind of capacity? It's kind of similar to the way that some people try to put transparent covers over their license plates to try to fool speed traps for the same kind of reason. So we are seeing this growing, more and more people finding masks that they can get their hands and access. I don't know if it's something that's really necessary right now, but it's something that if it gives you comfort, okay.
Well, and the market likes to sell stuff, and people have ideas on how they can sell more things, and it seems like people might be buying it. It reminds me of when a new car is being tested and they put like a vinyl wrap on it with all kinds of black and white weird shapes, so photographers, when they take a picture, you can't quite see the lines on the car. It reminds me a lot about that, which is kind of cool. Anyway, that was my contribution. You're the expert, so let's get started with this stretchy screen. Is it like a TV?
It is a TV. So every year at this time, we have the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It's the biggest trade show in the tech world. All the major inventions often get debuted. But one thing that happens as a tradition is every year, TV companies try to show off the wildest, craziest TV that they can. It's usually who has the largest TV or who has a TV that can become invisible, what can do crazy stuff like that. And this year, the winner, far and away, is Samsung. They said they have used a television that uses stretch screen technology. We've seen that kind of stretch technology before by companies who have experimented with clothing that stretches, and it's actually a TV screen. But what Samsung has done is they've used this to do a kind of take on 3D television. So you're watching the TV, and then an element on the screen suddenly starts to bulge outwards from the screen. So the screen is stretchy, and now it's as if the object on the television screen is pushing against the screen outwards. One of the examples they showed was an underwater scene. You can see a shark coming near. As it comes right up to the camera, suddenly the screen bulges forward, and the bulge takes the shape of the shark's nose coming out towards you. That's what they're showcasing in Las Vegas this year.
Freaky. Can you imagine like something bumps into the screen, and then the sound, and it's like all around you and the sound surround, and all of a sudden the screen bulges out and you weren't expecting it? What a great prank to play on your friends. I love it.
It's strange. It's kind of weird. And of course it's odd. People have been trying to find ways to capture photos of it and show it online, capture the TV from the side so you can see it bulging out. David Cronenberg fans, it's kind of like the movie Videodrome, the way strange objects start coming out of your television. I can tell you that Samsung is very clear to say this is just a concept. It's not something they're planning on selling anytime soon, but they'll experiment with it. They'll try out different things, and maybe something that seems ridiculous might just take off. It might be really good for horror movies. It might be really good for sports. We'll see. Mm-hmm. That's why Samsung is showing it off. But yes, they definitely won for the weirdest tech at CES this year.
It might be bad for your nightmares, that's for sure. Okay, next on the list, imagine you could work on your laptop, go to the coffee shop, whatever, roll it up, put it in your pocket, off you go.
That's right. So Lenovo is showing off their new ThinkBook laptops that are going to be debuting this year. And what's cool is that it starts off with a 14-inch screen. And then what happens is that in the bottom hinge of the laptop, the screen is rolled up like wrapping paper. You press a button, it starts to unroll. So when you sit down, you open up your laptop, you're getting ready to work, suddenly it goes from a 14-inch screen to a 17.6-inch screen. They say you get about 50% extra screen real estate. So yes, this is that stretchy screen technology we're talking about, but I think it's a very practical use for it. It's an OLED screen. I love the fact the videos that I've seen, I would go for this. This is something I would happily buy. I love the idea of having a laptop that starts off as light, easy to carry, transport, put in your backpack. And then when you sit down and you start to do work, suddenly the screen gets 50% larger. And this is coming from Lenovo. So, a business company, and you know that they're going at this in a way that's going to be very serious and very practical. So I'm eager to see when this actually comes out, how much the prices are going to be. But they're saying, this is a 2025 product.
It's interesting if they could take, like, when you drag your screen bigger, your browser or whatever, and you just made it bigger, it'd be really cool if your monitors got bigger as you made it bigger. Like, that would be wild.
Yes.
I think that's kind of fun.
Same when you're cropping videos or photos, the same thing. And they say it's great because everything about the screen also rises up and gets larger. So the webcam starts floating up to always stay at the top of the screen.
See, that's wicked stuff. Okay, Nanoleaf. Yeah, most people will know Nanoleaf from the lights on the wall, triangles, hexagons, stuff like that. They're coming out with something completely different, it seems.
Amazing. Quite a strange product category for them. So yes, Nanoleaf, based here in Toronto. They do normally these LED light panels that you attach to your wall. They're hexagonal or round, and you can build different shapes and patterns on them. They're fantastic from a decorative point of view. But they've just announced they're entering into the medical market with their very first LED light therapy mask. This is something that's going to launch next month in February. They're doing pre-orders for $150. They've already got FDA certification in the US. And what it does is this mask, which you then put over your face, it's kind of a cross between what you think of a mummified mask from Egypt or a robot mask with all the angles and the squares and rectangles, then exposes your face to a spectrum of near infrared light. So they've used all the LEDs to be able to produce light. And they've got quite a spectrum because, as you know, their panels go through like millions and millions of different colors. So they can actually do up to 7 different skincare modes using things like cyan, green, magenta to be able to treat common ailments, things like acne, or lines in your face, or even skin tone. So this is something that they're experimenting, new product category from Nanoleaf. It looks kind of strange, but I do know that there is a major market when it comes to skin care and therapy masks. So hopefully this is going to be a winner for Nanoleaf.
I've seen this is catching on. I've seen some photos of people. It kind of looks like Iron Man's face, sort of, once you put it on. Like I said, the colors come out of it. It's quite fascinating. And they're Canadian, so it's absolutely a win, which makes it really cool too.
I'm happy for them. It's goofy, but I also happen to know that this is huge in Japan. Every time I go shopping in Japan, light, facial mask, skincare masks, huge.
Always
huge,
there.
Huge.
All right, Kris Abel, my friend, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
Take care, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Shane Hewitt in the night shift. We're going to get healthy. We're going to do something good for you. Coming up next. Stand by.